Today's the day. We're bringing the Riviera to life. Let's get the cooling system filled up. Let's get the battery put into it. Let's bring it to life, back it outside, blow the dust off it. Let's get this thing going. And nearly 4 gallons of coolant later, the radiator is filled up. Now, use the distilled water, use the water of your choice, use the 50-50 mix of water, whatever your poison. If you want to use like the Evans waterless coolant that's like $100 and some odd a gallon, by all means go for it. It's your car. Do whatever you want. Do what makes sense. So, now that we got this filled up, you saw me squeezing the upper hose to try and work the bubbles out of it, and I could feel, bubbles going back and forth along the upper radiator hose. We're going to hit the key and see what happens. It'll probably take the coolant level in the radiator down a bunch as it fills up the block. So, next up, we're going to bring it to life. And yeah, we had to crank it a little bit, but it looks like it settled right into its nice cold idle the way it's supposed to. We're going to let it go for a second. I'll probably put a few RPM to it real quick. And now it's running a little cleaner. I'm just going to kind of rinse and repeat, go back and forth, make sure the coolant level's there, is happy. Just keep keeping an eye on things because we did have the entire front timing chain cover apart. Just want to watch for leaks. So, check back with you guys in just a minute. So it's out of the garage, and we're going to take it up the street and back. We haven't driven it since we did the front end, we did the brakes, we did the timing chain cover. I mean, it's run, but it's gone back and forth in the garage to the driveway to prove that everything works. So we're just going to roll up the street and back, nice and sensibly, not pushing. Just going to roll along and make sure everything works the way we want it to before we give it a bath. So, Maiden Voyage, yeah, it's still dusty, but you know something? Still a beautiful car. Let's go. Brake test. Okay, the brakes need some work. So we'll have to look at that a little bit more closely. Brakes do function, but we're going to look at it a little bit more closely. Definitely needs a front end alignment. It wanders a little bit. Good news is I don't smell anything other than some paint, getting warm for the first time. I don't see any smoke. I don't see any of that stuff, so we're in good shape. Just trying to avoid as many dirt clouds as I possibly can. And a wiener dog. There's a little bit of tune-up work we're going to have to do, but that's okay. Oh, okay. Maybe the brakes just need to be bedded in a little bit. That feels a bit better after that one. runs like it's supposed to. Now, just because I'm not sure of the capabilities, we're just going to jump on the brakes early, because I don't need to have trouble today. Nice and easy on the brakes. Big Buick torque.
The car, side doesn't have a window.
Nope, doesn't have a mirror.
Okay.
Looks like we're dripping a little bit of fluid. We're going to look at that now that we're back. It wouldn't be a test drive if there wasn't something to work on. One of the transcooler lines had a leak, and unfortunately, the bolt that I was worried about in the timing chain cover, it's a problem. So I got to develop a plan of attack to get that figured out. But short term, let's get this thing a bath and get it cleaned up so it looks like it's supposed to. Let's just take a moment to appreciate the beauty that is this piece of real American iron. Just got it out. Second time it's been outside. You guys saw it get out of the garage a little while ago, but we just got it cleaned up. Gave it its first bath in 20 some odd years. Just an absolutely beautiful car. Anyways, I got to get back into it and fix those couple of little problems that have popped up. And let me show you what's going to happen there. I'll take a look at it and bring you guys along. So I got the offending bolt out, this guy right here. And it didn't even feel like it was actually threaded into the block. So what I'm thinking is get some 5/16/18 all thread, and I'll just thread it into the block, cut off a section, I don't know, 5/8, 3/4 of an inch longer, double nut it on the end so I got something to hold on to, and just thread it into the block so that way I'm sure I've got plenty of thread engagement in there. And make sure I put some thread sealant on the end, because apparently this has got coolant running through it at some point. Good washer, good nut, cinch it down, and I imagine that'll take care of the problem. I gotta go get some all thread. We'll find out. All right, my friends, we have success. What you see there is a double nutted 5/16/18 piece of all thread. I made it about, 1/2 inch, 5/8 longer than the bolt was, and it's very hard to focus down there apparently. And threaded it in very carefully, made sure I had lots of force going into the block, so that way it would get past any crappy threads and into good threads. It tightened down just like it was supposed to, so we're in good shape. Let's keep moving. So you know how when you put something under your car that's full of something like antifreeze or oil? Well, let me just put it this way. You're always going to drop something in the bottom. They don't call it a socket swimming pool for no reason. Swimming pool for sockets has been added back to the Radiator since it was so incredibly clean, and I was very careful to get it out without making a mess of things. It's in. Now, let's talk about an interesting component. You got the Champion Radiator cap right there that came with the Radiator. Love the Champion. It's fantastic. However, this is unique. I've got one of these on my race car. There was one on the 64 Buick Special, but when the engine went kablooey, it kind of went by the wayside. So this is a radiator cap with a sacrificial anode attached to it. When you've got a lot of aluminum components that are going to corrode, this is where the corrosion happens first. You want it to go after something you can easily replace, as opposed to your expensive cylinder heads, as opposed to your expensive, radiator that was a lot of effort to fabricate in there. So this guy, sacrificial anode, that'll corrode first. So we're just going to get that guy in place, and we're getting close to wrapping this up. I got to go back and work on the brakes a little bit, but I'll figure that out when I get there. So stay tuned, more to come. So I got that coolant leak fixed, drove it around the block to make sure everything was holding tight, and thankfully it's holding tight. Now I also had a small little drip, drip, drip coming off the trans cooler lines, gave those another little tweak, and they're leak free too. So the good news is we're down to the point of putting fresh tires on this and getting the alignment done. And then this is pretty well ready to be back on the streets. I mean, yeah, I can do a little minor tune-up, but realistically, it actually runs pretty good considering it's been sitting for a lot of years. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you next time. And, there will be a little bit more Riviera content headed your way. Probably a walk around now that I got it cleaned up and all that stuff. But, thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time.